My hat! Hello and welcome. So this is the Nitro Slash. So I'm going to be talking about 5 must upgrades for the Nitro Slash and one possible recommendation. Now, I love the Nitro Slash. It's a very good vehicle. Just for starters, it's a 2-wheel drive Nitro vehicle. It's too fast for its own good. It has more power than it needs. Is that really a thing? I like the power on it. So, it's a great vehicle, lots of fun. If you have not watched my other videos, do watch some of my other videos. Watch my runtime video. I'll put a link in the description below. But some of the things that you really want to upgrade on your Slash, number 1 would be this little spring. Now, my Nitro Slash, if it's similar to any of your Nitro Slash, actually came with a small little piece of tubing. And the brake is way too aggressive, so aggressive that if I'm a little too hard on the brake, and by a little too hard, it's very easy to overdo the brake. The rear wheels will just lock up, and then the rear end will just pass the front end. Now, really quick, this isn't advertising for anything. The prices that you see, this is as of the time of this video. They're subject to change. I'm just showing you the parts. Here's one of them. I happen to have a Revo as well, so this was easy. This was an easy buy. Now I have spare parts. Now, if you don't have a Revo, you can buy this kit, and all you need is this spring. So that spring really helps out a lot, just eases the brake a little. Yes, you can loosen this, but the problem is because of that tubing, once the brake comes on, it comes on. That's the reason why you really want to go with the spring. Like I said, on my Nitro Slash, it really helped out a lot, especially when you're running on loose dirt. Nitro Slash is super fun, but it takes more skill, definitely takes more skill than other vehicles. The Slayer Pro, for example, is much easier to drive, although it flips more, but because it's 4-wheel drive, it's a little easier to drive, I would say. But the Nitro Slash has a far longer runtime. You can also watch my runtime video on the Slayer Pro, if you like. Now, another must upgrade on the Nitro Slash is the shocks. The GTR shock upgrade is really the way to go. Now, if you look for part TRA7461, those are the blue body, but the shafts are different. These have the stronger shafts, so I would go with the X at the end. Now they do make them with green body, so if you want the blue body, just get the blue body. They do make the green ones as well, and then you can get these. If you want other colors, you're going to have to go aftermarket, but I found that the Traxxas GTR shocks are perhaps the best shocks you can get for the price. Now, these are the fronts, so the longs are the fronts, and then the extra longs are the rears. So long and extra long. So this is the extra long. Again, if you just replace the rear character, you'll get the other one. So if you drop the X, you'll get the blue body. If you add a G or instead of an X, you'll get the green. Now, springs. I am consider this one whole upgrade because you're replacing the shocks, you need the springs. That's why I'm not considering these an upgrade. Rather, it's a necessity. But for the front, I would go with the blue. These right here. So I'm just going to click on it so you can get the part number. So TRA74448. So 7448. These are the blues. These are great. If you want something a little softer, the red ones work well as well. So these are TRA7445. And these are for the front. Now for the rear, I would go with the double black. Which are these right over here. They're not too soft, not too stiff. They actually work quite well. They're in the medium of everything. So these are 7446, and there's a nice little table right here. So orange is the softer than green. The thing with the orange is I find that it bottoms out a little too much. And yes, you can go heavier oil, but then it doesn't lift the vehicle fast enough. It kind of gets stuck there and then slowly comes in. So the suspension becomes less reactive. I didn't like it. So double black is good. Blue, little too stiff for the weight of the vehicle, but maybe it depends on your driving. Pink, you could do the pink as well if you wanted, but double black is, that's what I'm running. So that's upgrade number 2. Upgrade number 2 would be your shocks. And again, I'm including the springs. Now, shock oils, it's going to depend. You can use the shock oil that comes with, or you can go with maybe a 45 and 35 or 45 and 37.5. The lighter oil in the rear, because the Nitro Slash is generally in dire need of rear traction. Speaking about traction, this is the next upgrade. The next upgrade would be tires. These stock tires are rubbish, really. They truly are, especially the rear ones. You really need something better in the rear. You can go with something better in the fronts as well, might as well. The Traxxas BF Goodrich Rally tires, these are actually very good tires. So if you want to stay with Traxxas, go with these tires. Now, you're going to have to get wheels. I'm not considering wheels as an upgrade, more of a need when you get the tires. If you manage to remove the other tires neatly and cleanly so that these fit properly, that would be fine too. Now, you can keep these foams, but keep in mind these stock open cell foams, they will wear out quite fast. You may want to consider closed cell foams, maybe a red foam. That would work, but these foams aren't too bad. Just keep in mind the foam will wear out before the tire. It really depends. If you're taking a lot of bumps and impacts, the foams are going to wear out really fast. If you're just on really smooth surfaces, they'll last quite a while. But don't be surprised if the foams wear before you get halfway down the tread of the tires. Now, those are some of the tires, or you can always get the trenchers. These trenchers are really great. When I bought my trenchers, they sold them separately. I couldn't find them separately, so we'll see. But these are nice because if you damage the hex, you can always just replace the centers, which is great. You can just buy these hubs. These tend to be, I don't know, $8 or something as of the time of this video. Like I said, prices are subject to change. They're not mine. I'm just showing you the part numbers. So trenchers by Proline. These are very good tires. If you watch my running video to see how long a take lasts, I'm running trenchers in the rear and the rallies in the front. I've been playing around with them with rallies all around, trenchers all around. Haven't really decided what I like best. They're both really nice. These rally tires are surprisingly nice for stock tires. But trenchers are awesome. I love trenchers. I also have trenchers on my T-Max. Now, the next recommendation. So we've gone through the 4 recommendations. Wait, actually, I'm missing one. Here we go, sway bars. This is another must. Now, this is a sway bar kit that I installed. There's different sway bar kits that you can get. This one I just happened to get online. I'm not saying get this specific one. I've never purchased from this vendor, I don't think. I don't remember who I purchased them from. But it's this identical kit. And as of now, I'm running the silver in the rear, which is the lightest, and I'm running blue in the front. And it works well. I'm going to play around with the sway bars. I may switch them around a little, but we'll see. Now, the other thing to consider, there's something to consider. Consider getting the Stampede rear suspension arms for the Nitro Slash. Now, the reason why I'm saying consider this is for the following. This is going to take some modification. And what I mean by modification is the stock suspension arms on the Nitro Slash have a little ear on this side, right? So it'd be on the opposite side of where these holes are. So these holes, once you fit them in the truck, this is where the sway bar is going to attach. But the shocks actually attach on the opposite. They're in the rear. So because it doesn't have that little ear or the holes on the other side, you're going to have to drill some holes so that you can mount the rear shock. Now, these are the winter plastics. I do like the winter plastics for Traxxas. You could do the RPM, but they're a little more flexible. It's up to you. I would just stick with the winter plastics. Or if you want to do the stock ones, these are the stock ones. Just make sure that your pins are in the correct, going in the correct orientation. If not, they're going to back out. So for example, if the left has to go front to rear, or else it'll back out and then you'll break the arm really easy on these. But again, you know, if you're going to swap these, I would go with the winter plastics. And the reason why I like these is these are about 7 millimeters longer than the stock arms, so it just adds width to the vehicle. Depending on the wheels, you can keep the same wheels and just keep it wider, or you can also get these and then you can run different offsets. For example, you can run an associated or a low-C offset instead and keep about similar dimensions. You just have a longer arm. It actually rides nicely. You could also consider the Proline Track rear suspension. Those arms are 10 millimeters longer. At that point, I would go with the TLR offset, which is similar to what Techno uses, just because they're so wide in the rear. But adding that width in the rear does help the handling. It makes it a little easier. Now, again, the Nitro Slash is a great vehicle. I love it. And for the price, you really can't beat it out in the market. I don't know anything that's better for the price, especially with that engine, the TRX 3.3. Now, are there better engines out there? Of course, right? If you're willing to pay $600 or more, oh, okay, fine. Maybe you can find the 0.23 by OS that's made to swap into the Revo. But still, that's getting closer to $300 as of this video. I believe it's about $270. But for the price, $350 as of this video for a ready-to-run nitro vehicle that has more than enough power, this is quite a deal. Now, a quick note, my transmitter did not come with this button or this switch, so I think this is a stock image. So if you do look for this truck, actually this is more accurate, see no button, well, switch and button. But it does come with the easy start system, which is great. So if you already have one, you're probably just watching this video for the upgrades. If you don't have one, they are fun. It's a fun option, but it takes quite a lot of skill to drive. So again, let me just recap on the upgrades. You're going to be replacing the shocks, front and rear. These caps are just going to blow off, and then you're going to bend the shafts as well once you go with the aluminum. So just replace them with the GTRs and the corresponding spring. Replace the tires, especially the rear. The rear is a must on the tires. Add the sway bar. The front sway bar is probably the most important out of the set, but if you buy a set similar to the one I showed you, it's going to come with front and rear. So have those upgrades. And then the other thing you can't really see here is right here. It's difficult to see because of the color. That little tubing, you want to replace that with the spring. So make sure you get the spring. So that would be the fourth upgrade. And a little suggestion, consider replacing the arms. Now, if you replace the arms, keep in mind that these shafts are now going to be extended. The longer a shaft for the same diameter, the weaker it's going to be. That's the reason why drag cars, they have the short shafts. I went with the extreme heavy duty shocks for the Rustler. I could have gone with the metal ones that just didn't have the correct ones. So they had those extreme heavy duty. I wouldn't get the heavy duties. The heavy duties are very similar to these. Actually, these might be the heavy duties. I don't remember. But the extreme heavy duties, they are plastic, but there's a significant amount of added material, especially here in the joints. But that's something else to consider. It wasn't really the point of this video. But that being said, I hope this video was useful, informative, or at least entertaining. Those are my 4 must-have upgrades for the Nitro Slash. There are a few other things that you can do as far as, for example, aluminum knuckles or caster blocks. But the really basics, I would say, would be these. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not. Comment below if you have a Nitro Slash and you've upgraded things and you think that should be mentioned. Please drop a line. I'll catch you in the next one.